A new report conducted by the Department of Homeland Security suggests up to 2,100 migrant children who were split from their families during the Trump administration may still be separated from their parents. CBS News' Camilo Montoya Galvez reports some of those children may have found a way to reunite with their parents, but the U.S. government has no records documenting their reunifications. Camilo is a CBS News immigration reporter, and he joins me now. Hi, Camilo. So why doesn't the U.S. government have these records? I mean, that seems like something rather basic that they should be keeping track of, no?
Yes, that's the question of the day, Tanya. President Biden's task force, which he created in February, found that the Trump administration separated at least 3,900 accompanied children, from their parents along the U.S.-Mexico border between the summer of 2017 and the end of Mr. Trump's tenure in 2021. But they acknowledged that 1,800 of those children have reunited with their parents in the U.S. or in Central America, but that it has no record for the reunifications of more than 2,000 of those children, as you mentioned. And so far, the task force has only facilitated the reunification of 7 families here on American soil, but it does expect to ramp up reunifications, according to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, in the coming days. According to DHS officials, 29 migrant families will be able to reunite here on American soil in the coming months. And the reason for not knowing whether 2,000 of these migrant children who were separated from their parents during the Trump administration have been reunited with their families yet is because the Biden administration says that the Trump administration did not keep adequate information and data on these separations back in 2017 and 2018, Tanya.
And Camilo, you report that so far the task force has facilitated the reunification of at least 7 families who've been separated under Mr. Trump. That doesn't sound like a very big number. Why has the reunification process been so slow, and what's being done to speed it up?
Yeah, that's certainly something that the Biden administration acknowledged to reporters during a call the other day. They acknowledged that the reunification, the pace of the reunifications rather, has gone quite slowly. And they said the reason for that, Tanya, is because they've been focusing their early efforts on trying to locate the children, trying to verify their information, and trying to actually figure out how many children they can end up reuniting with their parents. So a lot of their early efforts focus on information gathering and data collection and on verifying information that they said was all over the place during the Trump administration. So that is their excuse, really, for not reuniting more families at this point. But advocates like the American Civil Liberties Union have been urging the Biden administration to speed up reunification, saying that more can be done to try to make sure that these parents can come back here to the U.S. to reunite with their children.
And Camilo, we know that the situation in terms of unaccompanied minors at the border, is still pretty dire. So I want to ask you about the fact that the Biden administration is threatening to sue the state of Texas over its bid to evict migrant children from state shelters. What more can you tell us about this conflict? Why does Texas want to do this, and why will that cause a lot of problems for the federal government?
Sure. So this legal and political standoff, Tanya, stems from a proclamation that Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott issued on Memorial Day. Abbott ordered state-licensed shelters and foster care programs in the state to stop housing unaccompanied migrant children in federal custody, and then state authorities ordered those shelters to actually wind down operations by August 30th, by the end of the summer. And this would be a big blow to the refugee agency within the Department of Health and Human Services, because it has 52 state-licensed shelters and foster care programs for migrant children in Texas. So if it can't house those children in these facilities, Tanya, if that may lead to overcrowding in Border Patrol facilities, which again are not designed to house migrants, let alone children, past 72 hours. And it can also lead federal officials to transfer these unaccompanied children to emergency facilities that are not licensed by states to care for minors, like convention centers and military installations where advocates have raised concerns about conditions there, limited service there, and about children spending prolonged periods of time there. So this is something that is concerning both the Biden administration but also immigration advocates. And now Texas Governor Greg Abbott has until Friday, Tanya, to respond and to clarify whether this directive will indeed affect the HHS shelter system.
Camilo Montoya Galvez, thank you so much for all your great reporting on this crucial issue. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya.